Ah, so yeah, Dinesh and I have just been having a little bit of a chuckle about our different language and different slang, and some things that I say that are very Australian that he's starting to pick up from me. So, welcome everyone. This is our regular weekly discussion about trekking in Nepal, and we cover a variety of topics. And some of them are around the specific treks that you can do, and some of them are around other aspects of things to consider when you're trekking. And today, our topic is called Green Trails Initiative. And what this is about being eco-conscious and about being um, like environmentally friendly, and the sustainability of making sure that when we as trekkers come to Nepal, that we don't do anything that's going to perhaps limit what's going to happen in the future, and that future generations won't be able to come. So before we get into all of that, my name is Michelle Hill. I am a business and travel coach, and my colleague Dinesh Karki is the owner of Nature Explore Trek and is a guide with 20 years experience. For myself, the first time I visited Nepal was 2015. I knew absolutely nothing about trekking, but I booked myself in to do Everest Base Camp Trek, as everybody does. And much to my surprise, it was possibly a bigger mental challenge than it was a physical challenge, because I had trained really hard in terms of I wanted to be fit so I could enjoy it. But what I wasn't prepared for was how much change and shift I felt within myself in terms of achieving a goal like that. And some of the hard bits where I really, really had to talk to myself and almost, come up with this mantra of, you can do it, you can do it, you can do it. So since then, I did return a couple of years after that and trekked Annapurna circuit. And I sadly haven't been back to Nepal to trek since then, because we had an interruption for a couple of years in travel. But I will be back in Nepal in May next year, which I'm counting down the days. And we are doing a dual adventure tour. So if you're following my posts and my information, you will see all of the information about that. And now what I'd like is to ask Dinesh to just give us a bit of an introduction to his background and what he has done in the past. And then we'll dive into today's topic.
Yeah, thank you, Michelle. And good morning from Kathmandu, Nepal. And those who doesn't know my name, I'm Dinesh Karki from Kathmandu, where I used to live. But originally I was born in birth in eastern part of Nepal, where the big mountains of the world called Mount Everest region. I most of my child age I spent like almost all my child age and my high school, since all this in my birthplace. And then since that date I'm in Kathmandu, working as a tourism working in tourism sector as a porter for like 6-7 years. And yeah, and during my journey I crossed, like I went through like assistant guide, and then finally became like full guide, and where I got full responsibilities to take a group to the Annapurna Mountains, Everest, Kanchenjunga, Manaslu, whatever, all the highlights and all the popular trekking routes in Nepal, and climbing some mountains like a 6,000-7,000 meter heights under my leadership. And also here I am trekking the groups in Mount Kailas, and Tibet, India, and Ladakh, the eastern part of India, which are border with Nepal. During that journey, I've got time to opportunity to get to visit Europe in twice, like 2014 and 16. When I was there, I have got good opportunity to do a small trek in Switzerland a couple of times. That is really different than in Nepal, definitely. It is, of course, lower, but the things and mountains, landscapes, hills, people are totally different in Nepal. And that means totally I got like a different experience. And after all that experience, me and my friends, the guide friends of our team, we decided to start our own trekking company. So where we are working now, it's called Nature Explore Trek, where Michelle and I also meet, and we're doing this job. And we already started this job like last. This journey is about 9 years now. We're running in 9 years since 2015 to now. So yeah, during like 9 years, we meet so many different people, even our old friends where we met on during guiding, even now. So that means like we had a very good time, and we are just happy and pushing our business and working, leading the people in the mountain through our company. We're a lot of enjoying, and what I mean, like we got like positive feedback from all our clients. Like that makes us more energy and pushing us to work more. And yes, we would like to welcome more people and even join in our adventure, like trip in May with us. So that's I want to tell now. Yeah, we will tell
Okay. Thank you, Dinesh.
you.
Now, as I mentioned at the start, what we wanted to talk about today is being eco-conscious when we trek. So there's a number of different ways and a number of different areas where this can impact. So the first one I was going to ask Dinesh to talk about is this concept of zero waste, where you take out, like you take out from the trek what you've taken in. Have I got that wording correct?
Yeah. So that's you're right. So especially we want to keep this nature for our next generations. So that means we have to be careful with our protect our nature ourselves. Like when we are on the trekking, we always suggest even our clients, please don't waste any like harmful things for nature, like plastics, tins, and whatever we buy and drink or eat, like foods or junk foods, whatever. So those things, please don't throw it the nature. Keep in your plastic bag and take back to the where the dustbins are, like where the stations are stand. Like normally in the mountains, there are not like dustbin stations, to be honest, because it's still Nepal government is not like really managing that things on the mountain, especially. So in this scenario, what we can do is we can carry the small like empty plastics bags, and we can just well, it's not possible to pick all the dustbin on the trail because we are just trekking and we don't have time to do like around the trail. But as a human, what we can do is just helping a little bit, means whatever we got and what do we buy from the shops, like bottles, plastics, and things. So we are not like on compost. So these things we can carry in our backpack, and whether we return back, and whether we get like a dustbin, a proper place to deposit, so we can just put it there. That helps a lot. And like another point of scenario, like when we see that, when we do that kind of things, other people will learn from us, like local people from that where we're trekking, like Annapurna, Everest, or any region of Nepal, like Langtang, whatever. So that means we are just doing good works, we're teaching something, and we're getting something, right? So this is really important.
So during the day, if you're making sure that you're not leaving any rubbish anywhere, and collecting it up in the plastic bag, and you mentioned about making sure you put it into the special bin areas. So each night when you get to the tea house, will there be some sort of bin at like where you stay each night where you can put the rubbish? You don't have to keep carrying it for days and days and days, do you?
It is.
So you would end up
no. Yeah, you are right. So every place at the tea house where we stay overnight, so we can get small like garbage bin, like we can just deposit there, and then that means they will throw later.
All right. So the next one I wanted to just mention is energy conservation, and under that, but what I'm meaning by that is like perhaps the use of solar chargers versus having to plug in when you get to the tea house, and other ways that you can actually conserve energy. So what would be your suggestions?
Well, that is really important. Another questions from you. And I really suggest to like solar panels. This is a very good. And instead of doing like carrying the gases and like making like a problem and throwing on the street. So these are like really harmful for nature. So
Yeah.
I always suggest solar. If you have like small solar panel, you can just hang on your backpack, like in day pack. Of course,
Okay.
during the day, normally it will be sunshine, so it will be little charged on the day, and then you can plug in your cell. That is also helpful for nature.
All right. Yeah.
Also for the
I've
power.
never used one myself. So they're not heavy, are they?
No, they are not like very light.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So that
And for the shower also, when for take a warm shower, if you want in the colder place in mountain,
yeah.
so it's better to have like solar panel shower.
Yeah.
Normally on the roof of the house, the locals, the owner, they make solar.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that
Okay.
if someone really want to hot water, and then they have also gas shower like snake shower. So
Yes.
they
Yeah. Now, that's what I've had the gas showers where, yes, these hot showers that
yes.
sometimes they're not actually that hot, and sometimes there's not actually that much water that comes out. But hey, it's enough to get. um, and also, yeah, I think one of the big things, and it kind of comes into plastic waste too, is about your water, like where and how you get your water and how you make sure that you've got drinking water each day without like just contributing to having endless plastic bottle waste.
That's true. So we always saw this even in my leadership, in my administration, through my company.
Yeah.
I never forget to tell that things to my groups or my people. In Kathmandu, and I brief them before the departure meeting. I always suggest people to not use the plastic bottles, like
Yeah.
especially the mineral waters. So instead
Yeah.
of that, they can take a treated medicine.
Yeah.
Like some of the way of treat the water and make a drink.
Oh yeah.
Right. And then also the most of the places at Annapurna and Everest, we can also get water stations where we can fill the bottles and lead to some rupees, like 50 rupees, 60 rupees, even half cents. So that means you are not wasting the garbage. You're not buying the plastic bottles when you finish water, and then you don't need to carry, you don't need to throw. So that makes you helping a lot. So I always suggest, please, if possible, use the local natural drinking water from the tap, or from, if you don't get, and also from the water station as possible you get. Okay. And then when you go on the mountains, especially more higher and higher, so you can also get boiled water from kitchen. Of course, it might be costly for your trip, but for your throw, for your nature, is getting benefit for the both sides, for women, for nature. Because when you're in higher, it can maybe little throw cold, and then we get like sore throat.
Yeah, but everyone gets that cough, don't they? Yeah.
And then I like saw this, buy like 1 liter of thermos, like which can keep your water warmer, like for a couple of hours more longer. So that water be your nature and for your health. And especially I'm talking about in the higher or after 4,000 meter. Like some passes like Annapurna, like Tharangla Pass and Annapurna Circuit Track, Everest Base Camp, and Manasolu Circuit in Larkela Pass, Kanchenjunga Base Camp, Makalu Base Camp, Langtang in high place. These are good. So don't use plastic bottles. Please use your own bottles, fill up the water.
Yeah, I know for myself, I have a 3-liter Camelback that I use, and I used to get that. I would get that filled up at the tea house in the morning with not the it's water that's been boiled, but like it's still warm, but it's not boiling hot. And then put that into my Camelback and then sip on that, usually till lunchtime, and then try to top it up at lunchtime. So yeah.
That's really nice.
Yeah. And what about just in terms of, I've got a note here that says talk about flora and fauna in terms of making sure that we don't damage the environment when we trek and when we visit all these beautiful places. is there anything in particular that we really should be conscious of in terms of not disturbing nature?
Yes, that's really another beautiful questions for me this morning. Yeah, especially when we are trekking in national park area, like in Everest, on the way to Everest Base Camp, in Langtang Valley trekking, we will be in this popular national park area. That means what we will encounter many flora and faunas,
Yeah.
So that means whether we're walking on the trail, do not make disturb to those wild animals or any different species of birds or any insects or any flowers or anything, That means especially when we're trekking, and I saw some of the groups making really noise, loud and like making, and then the people just walking and throw the stone,
Yeah.
like that means sometimes can hit the animals. Also the picking the flowers and throwing, like it's kind of example. So that means we always be careful. Yeah, walk quietly and give them also a chance. And normally, when you make like a noise, like talking loudly, so the animals will go away because they know that people are coming, right? So what, especially in particular place, like as I told you, like in Everest Base Camp, along the way to Everest Base Camp,
Yeah.
in the national zone, like from Manzo to before Forte, and that area is really special area. So where we can see wild animals like and different species of birds, including our national birds called lopeperos, and there and some birds, and then some special, special medicine things and trees. So that we we can see and we can meet, So that means we have to be careful. We have to just save the nature and just make them also time to see us, and we can also have a chance to see them. Yeah. So that always, it's better to just not make noise and walk quietly in a special place, I mean, and don't throw the raw stone.
No, I agree with you, because some of the places, when you walk through them, they are just so serene and so beautiful that, making a noise or even talking loudly sometimes just really feels out of place.
I saw some trekkers making whistling, whistling makes go.
And for me,
Like of course, like we are human, yeah.
Oh yeah,
and then, we are exciting them, and then they want to make like exciting, like really like different sound.
Well,
that means they are trying to them, but it's gone. Yeah.
I must admit, when we did get to Everest Base Camp, there was quite a bit of yelling and jumping around, and we played some music, and we were a little bit silly, but it is like that in and of itself is a special moment, because like when you succeed and do something like that, you do have that exhilaration that you just want to let out. But during the normal days trekking, like just being mindful of where you are, and mindful that, for other people, just to walk through and enjoy the serenity, like, is special as well. So, okay. And then there was one other thing I wanted to bring up as well, and that's the community impact of trekking. And there's a couple of different things that impact, and a positive way is that obviously, like, we're supporting the communities and we're bringing funds into the communities. But the other thing also too is that as trekkers, then we also need to respect the local culture and traditions. So what are your thoughts around that?
Could you repeat one more? Sorry. Yeah.
So I'm talking about the impact that we as trekkers have on the Nepalese community. So one of the positive things, obviously, is that we are helping provide jobs and employment for some people.
Yeah.
And one of the other things that we need to be mindful of is respecting your local cultures and traditions and things like that as well. And I just wondered if you wanted to make any comments around those.
Oh, yeah. This is really, really important to share this information. Yes, to be honest, the foreigners and our tourism is the another main source of country. Like if the one tourist arrive in Nepal, is beginning of day to end of the day, he will give at least 19 people job. That means guide, hotel, driver, or transportations, hotels, and the trekking,
That's a lot.
anywhere in Koto, right? And that means foreigners are helping a lot in Nepal, and especially in the mountain, in small community, in school, in monastery, in temple, or whatever. So we can see a lot of impact and a lot of volunteering, a lot of organizations, so it is so huge help for Nepal. And it's also giving like many jobs and creating every season, like those people are waiting for a job, like hundreds of guides, porters, cooks, hotels, and everyone is waiting for the foreigners, definitely, right? So this is like, in one side, it is big health, and we need it. And another side, I see in my this last 22 years journey in this my job, as I'm working tourism sector. So every foreigners are very respectful for local communities, no doubt. There is no comment. But for some tourists, and there is some different people. Everyone is not the same because we are not from the same mother. So some can be different, some can be different. Some people are not really what they need to be. So, for example, when we going in the local community, not in cities like Pokhara, Kathmandu, or whatever, but especially in the mountains, they have a lack of communication. That means no speaking English or any native language.
Yeah.
So that means they don't understand. They're just kind of giving hospitality from their inner heart and just giving small, beautiful smile, like smile. So that means they like you, and then, but we have to also respect same way. Like, so for example, if of course we like they looks different than us in their according to their lifestyle and their landscape and whatever. So they look different, and when we take a picture, we better ask before we take picture.
Yeah,
because it's more respect.
yeah,
And when we go inside their house, take off the shoes outside if possible.
yeah.
So it is out of the respect. And when we eat fruit with them, share our kitchen, so help them to cook, and they make more happy and they're more exciting. It also gives them fun because of, and then please always try to speak with them, like no matter like any language there's misunderstood or anything, they makes more fun and they'd love to teach you. And and always don't forget to say namaste, and then they they like say namaste, and then that means they are happy.
Universal word, isn't it?
And respect their religions, culture until you staying there, and and that makes fun, and which will give you. And then when you take a picture, just for very little, when you take a picture in your camera in mobile, don't forget to show them. They like to see that. That's
That's important, isn't it?
Yeah.
And while you were talking too, one of the other things that popped into my head was that, when we do come to visit Nepal, we should be mindful of any festivals that might be on while we're in the country. And it's up to us as the visitors to see, what festivals are on, how that might impact our trip, or how that might make our trip even more special because you can join in. And some of the, whether it's okay for foreigners to join in or they should just stand and watch. So that would be something else I would add personally, just so that, when you turn up that, if it's festival time, things could be a little bit different. And there could be public holidays or, lots of people out and about, and, as visitors to the country, understand how we can participate but not intrude, sort of thing. Yeah. Thank you. Well, it's been really interesting today. I always learn something new when I'm talking to you, even though I think I sort of know a reasonable amount.
No, I'm also learning a lot of things and everyday new words and remaining back of my mind because it used to for me. So we're giving information to others and getting something for us also. So it's all Knowledge light.
Yeah. So what I'd like to finish up with is that, if you enjoyed listening to this, please, if you're watching a replay, please leave us a comment and let us know if this has been helpful. If you would like to actually have a chat about making your dream of coming to Nepal a reality, Dinesh or I are always available. And I did mention we are running a dual adventure tour in May. And what this is, and this came about when I decided I would like to come back to Nepal, and my partner, who doesn't trek and whinges after we've been walking for an hour, said to me, well, I want to come too because it looks amazing and I don't want to stay home this time. So what we've come up with is a combination where we spend part of the tour together in Kathmandu, doing a little bit of touring around, having some give back time where we visit a school. Then we'll go to Chitwan for the jungle safari. Then we go to Pokhara in the middle of Nepal. And from there, the trekkers will head up around the Annapurna region, and the non-trekkers will go to Lumbini and Bandipur. And then they'll come back and they'll spend an extra couple of days in Pokhara and doing things like cooking classes, market tours, and day tours. Then we'll all come back together. So then, we will have had 6 nights apart, just enough time to have some separate adventures that, we'll have so much to catch up with on when we get together again. But then we've also created some space for reflection. So we will have a day at a yoga and meditation retreat so that you can just really let the whole experience sink in and how it's really landed for you, and some of the things that you will take away with you when you go home. So if you are interested in coming along with us, both Dinesh and I will be on that tour. Again, please get in touch. And then next week, which will be the last one before we break for Christmas, we're going to talk about basically what you should be packing. What do you need to have in that pack of yours, in your day pack, and what do you need to bring with you in terms of clothing, equipment, first aid? Do you need to bring snacks? All those sort of things. So we will cover that off next week, and there will also be the opportunity for you to get your own packing guide. We'll be providing the link for that with next week's event. So again, I hope we've been helpful for you today, and we look forward to having you join us again in a week's time. Bye for now.
Bye, everyone.
Or should I say namaste?
Namaste. Don't forget to rewatch this hour, all about important information to everyone, all the adventures lovers from all over the world.